You know what would be great is if I could start an online business today and make money today. Well, there's good news because this is actually pretty easy to do as long as you have a little bit of capital. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, Greg from Empire Flippers, and today we have a very relevant topic to what I do at Empire Flippers, and that is finding websites that make money and buying them and start making money from day one, basically. And the cool thing about this strategy, and I'll go into a little bit more here, but this is, in my opinion, the safest and fastest way to become a successful entrepreneur there is. And whether you're an entrepreneur or not, you may disagree or agree with me. The reason why I say that I'll get into in a second, but one of the best things about this is finding websites that make money is actually relatively the easy part. You can just come to our marketplace, for example, you can register an account, link down below, and you can filter by content sites that are monetized through, say, affiliate or display advertising. And you can see these every single Monday because we often list out several of them every single week to go and buy. So that's actually the easy part. The hard part we'll get into, the things to watch out and avoid. But first, let's talk about why buying these is that shortcut, is a safer route. So when you go and build a business from scratch, you're throwing a lot of unknowns out there in the world. One, is my content good enough? Is my marketing strategy good enough? Am I bringing the right traffic, the targeted traffic? And that's before you even get to ask yourself, do I have a product market fit here, right? Does this affiliate program work? Does this display ads work? All this kind of stuff. And you're looking at, to be honest, between 18 and 36 months before you get very significant traffic that is actually quite meaningful. I know a lot of content site owners where, say, they work for 14, 15 months diligently on their website, and they finally make $50 that next month, like a month 16, and they just give up from there. But if they had stuck with it, that $50 would have started jumping up drastically. But because you're buying a business, you get to skip about 38 months of timeline, because the average affiliate website right now that we sell is at a 38x monthly multiple. You get to skip 38 months and just go for it, right? You get to have a website that's already built, it's already making money, it is in a profitable niche, it is getting profitable traffic, all this good stuff. It's a lot easier to go from $5,000 to $10,000 a month than it is to go from $0 to $1,000 a month. Because $5,000 level, you have all sorts of traction that you simply do not have when you're building from scratch. So let's talk about some red flags here when you're looking at websites for sale, when you're looking at profitable assets to buy here. And there are quite a few red flags. Now, I will say the vast majority of this list that I'm going to be talking about tends to happen in the sub $100,000 valuation range. As you acquire a bigger businesses, say 250, 500 million, million plus, a lot of these red flags will start going away, but it's still good for you to understand what they are so you can go and make sure you don't fall for these mistakes. So the first one is bot traffic. Bot traffic is very simply a robot. It's not a human. So if the seller is using, say, some kind of program that sends bot traffic to their website, and say you're brand new at buying a website, you're looking at their analytics, you're seeing all this traffic, you may not actually realize that that is bot traffic. One way you can look at this, and it would be very telling that it's bot traffic, is if there is a huge spike that goes away on their analytics, that's often bot traffic. But what is more common, if they're trying to scam you at least, that you can get around on, is looking at the geography of where that traffic is coming from using their Google Analytics. If it's all coming suspiciously from one town, then you can make pretty legitimate guess that this is probably bot traffic, that this is coming from a server farm. In fact, we get this at Empire Flippers, and it's nothing nefarious actually. It's actually different services crawling our website to figure out what we're about. And I think it's Ashton, South Carolina, I think it is. There's a huge server farm there that often sends a crazy amount of bot traffic. Now, if I didn't know about bot traffic, I was just thinking man, people in this South Carolina stuff really love our website. How is there even this many people there? Right? So bot traffic is something to look out for. Another thing to look out for is with bots is usually they're only going to be on the website for a very short period of time. Like if you're seeing all this crazy amount of traffic that's just coming to the website and they're staying on the website for a second, that is also another good sign that this is probably bot traffic. Another thing to watch out for when you're buying profitable sites is that the traffic isn't coming from SEO. So most content sites that we're talking about in this video, they get the main source of the traffic through SEO, and they might be able to prove this in multiple multiple different ways, but one thing that you want to watch out for is making sure that a significant amount of their traffic is actually SEO and not coming from an external source. So something that they could trick you up if you're brand new, you're not familiar with how analytics works, is you see all this traffic coming in on their audience report with all the sessions, new users, but really that's not coming from Google. It is organic, but it is coming from referrals. And referral traffic could be websites that they actually own, that they might even be propping up with ads, sending to that site, that then go to this other site. Now, this is quite a rare case, and usually when this happens, is not a nefarious thing. Usually what happens here is the seller probably just legitimately forgot that they have this other website that is driving a bunch of referral traffic to the other website. And in this case, it behooves you to find out what happens when you buy the site. Like, are they going to remove the link on that site? Or are they going to include that website in with the deal? Now, if they're going to remove the link on the website, you should definitely not buy the website for at least a few months after the removal of the link, because you want to see what the business is like stabilized. Now, you could buy it still, put it in escrow where you pay it out based on that, but I'm just saying you probably should just avoid it, because unless you're going to include the other website with you, there's a lot of unknowns you're buying because of this. The next is the friends and family scam, and this is quite a hard one to figure out. This only really can happen at very low levels of valuation. I mean, at this point, we're talking about probably a $20,000 website, right? But it's still worthwhile to be aware of it. And that is where an affiliate website owner, they're actually having their friends and family shop through their affiliate links on their website, say like Amazon affiliate links, right? So the revenue is actually real and the traffic is also real, but it's not real in the sense that this is a legitimate business making value in the marketplace. It's just real that his friends and family are buying stuff from him, right? So there is a very easy way to tell that this is happening is if they're not getting any organic traffic. Maybe there's only one link that is being clicked on, all that kind of stuff. And his family always go to this one page to click on that link. This is an easy way to tell if the organic traffic is very, very low, but the actual revenue is very, very high in terms of that ratio, right? So just be careful on this. It is a little bit trickier to tell because it is a bit hidden in the weeds, so to speak. But again, this will only happen at a very small valuation level, so you probably won't have to worry about this. Another thing is photoshopping numbers. And photoshopping is one thing that it can be hard to tell. And you might think, okay, well, I can totally, make sure it's real if I do a video call. Now, you're not wrong on this, but another thing you should look out for that's a huge red flag, and again, doesn't happen very often, but it's definitely worth something to know about, is in the Chrome browser, you can actually change the source code as a visual editor. So the person could technically edit the numbers that you're seeing, maybe even editing the graph, depending on how good they are, on their Google Analytics on video. So whenever you do a video call to verify numbers, just have them refresh the page while on video with you. That will get rid of the whole Chrome thing. There you go. And again, this is something that is very unusual to happen, but it can happen, so it's worth knowing about. Next is having PBNs, but I'm not telling. Now, PBNs, private blog networks, have kind of gone the way of the dinosaur in the SEO world. I have some friends that still use them, and there's nothing inherently wrong with them. What is wrong with them is if the seller doesn't tell you that they have them, and you don't work out an agreement on how the PBN links are going to stay alive towards the website, because the website is usually propped up by the power of those PBN links. So you want to make sure they come with the deal. The reason why this is bad if they don't disclose it to you, just so you understand, is because if they're not being transparent about something that is a relatively neutral thing on the website, then what else are they not being transparent about? This should set off some red flags for you. Maybe you don't want to do business with this person. In fact, at Empire Flippers, if someone sells a website or wants to sell a website with us, and we find out that they had a PBN site that they didn't disclose, we often reject that business and often don't even allow that person to sell again. Now, of course, there are situations where it wasn't nefarious, but that is something we would take very seriously, that a seller is not being transparent, and that is something you should also take very, very seriously. So the good news about all this red flag stuff that I just talked about is if you shop with Empire Flippers to buy an affiliate website, and why wouldn't you? We have one of the most hardcore, thorough vetting systems in the world. Our vetting team is first in class. There's no one else like them. And all of these problems and more, you just simply won't discover on our marketplace. We reject 96%, I believe it's 96% of businesses that come to us. So 94%. So you're looking at the top 6% that made it through that heat, that made it through our rigorous vetting process. So most of the stuff you don't have to worry about. If you decide not to use a broker like us, shame on you, but let's say you did, make sure you keep everything I just said very cognizant, especially if you're shopping in that below $100,000 range. because that will be very helpful for you to have that on your due diligence checklist. And speaking of using a broker going private, if you have never bought an affiliate website, much less a business, I highly recommend, even if you don't like the idea of using a broker, to use a broker on your first acquisition. Consider it like hiring a marketing agency, right? If you're looking to grow these affiliate websites, I mean, you're most likely not going to go and start punching out dozens of articles every single day yourself, right? You're probably going to have a team that does this, that helps you with it, right? Most likely an agency of some sort. So you should also view us as an agency in that first acquisition. I think that is quite helpful for you. I think that is something that can teach you the ropes, and it also prevents you from making some very serious mistakes that can be quite easy if you're brand new. Now, let's say you go through that transaction with a broker and you still absolutely hate brokers. Hey, no problem. Go and buy your next one privately, but now you're very well equipped. And the reason why someone wouldn't use a broker, by the way, if you're wondering, is because all the good deals, the brokers don't have them. And when I say that, I'm being a little bit facetious. What I'm really saying is, if you want to find sellers that don't understand what they're worth, it is very hard to do that as a broker. You can buy awesome deals with a broker, obviously, but the broker will know what the business is valued at, what the fair value is. So it's much harder for you to basically use a seller's lack of education on their valuation to your advantage to get a good deal. But if you're brand new at buying, I actually don't recommend you to buy a good deal, because a good deal usually means there's something wrong with the business, or the seller just totally doesn't know what they're doing, right? Doesn't know what they're worth, all that kind of stuff, which happens too. But if you're brand new, you're much better off buying a premium business at a good price, because that business is going to be more stable, it's going to spit off more reliable cash flow, and it's just going to be easier in general for you to handle as a newbie, right? You don't want to go buy a business that just got hit by a major Google manual penalty when you didn't even know that was a thing, right? Like, you don't want to put yourself in that situation, right? So start simple, start with a premium business, and use a broker you can trust, ideally if you've never done this before. Buying a profitable business, like there's a profitable website that makes money, spits off cash flow, is absolutely fantastic. It is one of the best business models if you're just starting out, because it is very hands-off. You can go away for a few days and everything is fine. You don't deal with customers, you don't deal with product, don't deal with logistics, none of that stuff. You can just focus on marketing. And the good news for you is finding a website that makes money, that can make you money from day one for you to acquire, has never been easier. Just go to our marketplace down below, register an account, and you're going to see dozens of them for sale, right? So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got a lot out of it, and I will be talking to you soon. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and then maybe subscribe with 50 other accounts for me so my subscribers go up. Talk to you later.